This technique is reversing mace. This is a defense against a straight left punch. And our hands, instead of moving in a forward direction, are going to move in reverse. That's why hence the name reversing mace. This happens from a fighting stance. And from my right neutral bow, my hands are in a fighting position. This hand is going to be my lead parry. As he punches, I'm going to meet him this way. But I want to get out of the way at the same time. And the way I do that is by parrying, I move up the circle, which means I move my left leg away from him. So again, our first move is using this and stepping over here. Okay? Let's try that again. All right, nice and slow. And one. That's right. Now, the sooner you meet it, the wider the gap is. Let's come back again. If you wait, the gap is very close. Whereas if you anticipate slightly, the gap is much wider. You don't want to straighten your arm out too far. But the sooner you meet this hand, the more control you have. There's another problem, of course, with his elbow, which we'll address in a moment. So here we go. One. And you're going to shoot this hand a little sooner. Right at his wrist. Bam. That's the idea. Okay, and once more. And go. Terrific. Okay, now let's zoom in on these hand positions. From here, he can drop his elbow on top of me. Flip this over, hit me right in the head. See, like, touch this here. So you flip it right over. So you have to make sure that you check the elbow as soon as possible. So what we're going to do is the other hand that's hanging down here is actually coming up underneath. This is an outward parry. It's just like bringing your hand up like that. And it redirects and maintains a certain amount of stability here. You can't really do much for a moment. So you're combining these moves. This is the initial part, and this is the second part. And these are the two parries. This is an inward parry. This is a vertical outward parry. Now watch again. And you'll notice the circles are actually coming back away from me. All right, let's try that. Slowly, one step at a time. Here's one. And bring that other hand underneath and stop it right there. And it can hook over top. And you still want to be slightly above the elbow, right, or right on top of it. So if he collapses this, you can't slip inside. Okay, let's try it again. And go. Oh yes, that's right. And you can even move it slightly forward, or just take it as far as it needs to go. One more time, please. And go. Nice. All right, now, we have to hit this guy. Essentially, here's what we're doing. If I was standing like this and he punched at me and I took this hand and hit him, that's the offense. He would run into this. I want to make sure that my parries occur before the time that I need to do this back fist. So this movement has to be quite quickly done. We're going to do it slow though. So here's one, two. Now the other hand, the right hand that was parrying, is going to slip out. See, that's underneath. So you have open targets here. We're going to use our back fist in this case. If you were closer, you could use the elbow. But at this range, the back fist. Okay, so we have one, here's two, here's three. Okay, sir. And one, and two, and three. Good. Once again, please. And one, two, and three. Now, you don't want to really step up. You want him to come to you. So when he punches, she's moving over here. I didn't really step up. Okay, once more. One, two, three. Very good. All right, the last part of this is to take advantage of a kicking leg. This is called a looping downward roundhouse kick. And what we're doing is when we get to this position, we're going to attack the back of this leg. The way we're going to do that is, I want to explain, bend your knees a little bit, the dynamics of the weakest portion of the leg. If I push against him this way, the muscles on the opposite side of this leg and this leg actually push back. And he's pretty solid there. Push against me. See, I can't move him. Okay. If I push this way, the back of this leg and the back of this leg push back. This is also a fairly strong position. If I grab and pull toward me, the muscles on the opposite side of this leg are pulling and prevent me from pulling him. So the weakest portion of the leg that has the least amount of muscle is the shin, which means that this has the least support for an attack coming from behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to angle our kick so that it comes down and meets the joint at a 45 degree and presses down this way into that nerve. And of course, being this the weakest portion of the leg, it'll collapse easier. What also happens is the upper part of his body will turn away and diagonal check goes down. So I'm going to show you how I do that with my leg. So we have 1, 2, 3, and as I kick, you'll notice I rotate my whole body. And this kick is an example of rounding off the corners. I'm not doing 2 linear moves, but 1 circular movement that kicks down in that direction. So what we're going to do now is the whole thing. We have 1, 2, 3, and as I angle around this way, I drop my whole body into the kick, collapsing him. Let's try it, please. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, and looping downward. Roundhouse, that's right. And you want to try to whip your body more from this position all the way to your back is almost toward your opponent. Once more, please, and go. 1, 2, 3, and lift. So you want to bring the kick maybe a little higher, make it a larger arc. Larger arc and coming down more. And again. That's the idea. And the accuracy is very important. You want to hit right where the end of the hamstring muscle tapers into the knee. That's where you get the greatest response. This is called reversing mace.